giving you the rundown for the Texas governor's race. So, what the topics I'll be covering are the candidates, who's running for the position, what kind of issues each candidate is concerned about, and what are the top concerns for each voter, what kind of advertisements are being shown, and where the funding for each campaign is coming from. So, for the candidates, the Republican candidate is Greg Abbott, the Democratic candidate is Beto O'Rourke, the Green Party candidate is Delilah Barrios, and the Libertarian candidate is Mark Tibbetts. I know I mentioned both non-Republican or Democratic candidates. However, most of my research is going to be focused on both Beto O'Rourke and Greg Abbott. So the issues that most Texan voters are concerned about is the economy and what each candidate plans on doing to help resolve the economic issue. Immigration and border control, how each candidate is going to handle immigration and border security, and what each candidate's stance is on abortion. So, Greg Abbott's plan to tackle the economic issues is creating property tax reform, and so property tax in Texas is currently very high, and he plans on capping that property tax to create more affordable housing, as well as delivering a tax relief package to help get more Texans into homes. So Greg Abbott's stance on border control is that he supports the current system and signed new legislature to digitally ensure that all the state money going into those agencies are being put to good use. Greg Abbott's stance on abortion is that he's anti-abortion and holds the opinion that unborn life needs to be protected, and he's currently a strong supporter to the abortion laws in Texas currently. So for Beto O'Rourke, his plan on tackling the economic issues is creating more jobs through high-skill, high-wage union jobs in the new renewable energy market, as well as raising the minimum wage. So Beto O'Rourke's plan for immigration and border control is creating a new immigration system that focuses on deterring illegal immigration by guaranteeing legal pathways, as well as using more technology like sensors, surveillance towers, and drones that help law enforcement detect illegal crossings and help them carry out safe arrests. Beto O'Rourke's stance on abortion is that, quote, all Texans deserve the freedom to make their own decisions about their own body, their own healthcare, and their own future. I will trust Texas women to make their own healthcare decisions. So he is pro-abortion as well as believes in reproductive freedom. So the data in most public opinion polls, I got this data from 538.com, which compiles a lot of polls together. And starting from February of 2022, Greg Abbott has always held the lead at about 50 to 52%, and Beto O'Rourke trailed behind at around 40 to 45%. Generally, Greg Abbott had about a 9% lead, as seen through these two polls on the right as well. So the most recent polls that I found are from October 19th and October 17th to the 19th. Both by well-accredited schools. One's Emerson College, another one's sponsored by the University of Houston. And both public opinion polls show that Greg Abbott holds the lead by at least a little bit over 50%, while Beto O'Rourke holds support for about a little bit over 40%. So Abbott holds the lead, and the independent and Green parties gain the votes by about 1 to 2% and sometimes less than 1%. And so for advertisements, the big two political campaigns are Beto O'Rourke and Greg Abbott. And so for Greg Abbott, he has both supporting and attacking ads. So his support ad is about how he's a hardworking hardworking American citizen that perseveres through any challenges that he faces, especially with his family. And so Greg Abbott uses his paralyzing disability that he was in a, I believe, car accident or some sort of accident that left him paralyzed, and now how he persevered through and now is continuing his career as a politician, and using that kind of strong family, hardworking background to gain support. And his attack ad is attacking his opponent, Beto O'Rourke, for linking him towards the more extreme liberal views of defunding the police, as well as saying that he's too dangerous for Texas, and painting Beto O'Rourke in a darker, more anarchist vibe. I don't yeah, I don't think we'll have too much. I don't think I'll have enough time to show both videos, but that's just how they are. There's a link to the YouTube video. So for Beto O'Rourke, he also has supporting and attack ads, but Beto O'Rourke's supporting ad is about connecting towards the community itself, as well as trying to find more underrepresented groups to say that he represents most diversity. And then the quote, "I am running for governor for you, and I want to meet you there on the field." So Beto O'Rourke's trying to appeal to the connective community that Texas has. And so for his attack ad, he attacks Greg Abbott for being a more quote-unquote extreme Republican, holding very far-right views on abortion, as well as other like border control laws. So the ad points to a couple that is one's a Democrat and one's a Republican, but they both agree that Beto O'Rourke is the safer, more middle ground choice than compared to the quote unquote extremist, right winged, Republican that is Greg Abbott. Again, I don't think I'll have enough time to show both ads, so we'll be moving forward. Something in particular that I found really interesting when I was looking into advertisements, this group, Mothers Against Greg Abbott, is not a group sponsored by either parties. However, this group was formed, like in the title, it formed because it was against Greg Abbott and how his current views are very extreme on abortion. And so the main ads that this group has produced is about abortion and how they're against Greg Abbott's current position. The reason why I included this is because that these attack ads that they've been producing has gained a lot of attention online, receiving almost about 2 to 3 million views each per video, and it was making a very noticeable impact, as seen in the local news station KHNO 11, which is a branch of, I believe, CBS News that's local to Houston, Texas, and a lot of discussion has been brought up about this group in particular, especially its impact on abortion. The news station says that most of these ads target women and mothers of like local suburban areas, and how most opinions on abortion do not align with Greg Abbott's current ideas, and how they hope that these ads will sway the vote towards a more neutral and reproductive rights supportive area. So for funding, where most of the money is coming from, according to the Texas Tribune, which is a local newspaper station, Greg Abbott, most of his money comes from rich families as well as companies and big oil companies and big oil companies, pipeline companies, as well as rich multimillionaire families that support him and his current policies in government. And for Beto O'Rourke, most of his money, like a third of his money, comes from outside of Texas, and the rest comes from grassroots operations. So, as seen here, Greg Abbott has raised almost 133 about 103 million dollars in funds, and Beto O'Rourke has raised about 76 million dollars. Some of this is not the most accurate because according to the Texas Tribune, within the last a month or so, Beto O'Rourke has raised more money than Greg Abbott. And so most of this money that Abbott has collected is from one of the quote the Texas Tribune. The biggest donation that Abbott collected was about $500,000 from each, $500,000 from both Ken Fisher, who is a investment advisor, Javeed Anwar, who's a who's a head of an oil company, as well as the Dallas Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones. And from Beto O'Rourke, his highest donation was from an Austin doctor named Carolyn Oliver, which was about $250,000, and then $100,000 from a Texas chapter of the Texas chapter of the American Federation for Teachers. So overall, most of the money Abbott is gaining is from lots of rich upper class individuals, as well as some grassroots families that are mainly very Republican, while Beto O'Rourke is receiving almost a third of his funding from outside support outside of Texas, mainly liberal funding groups, as well as grassroots communities from within Texas, especially Austin and some southern cities, such as the city that he grew up in, El Paso. So that's it. I hope you've gotten most of the information in regards to the Texas governor's race, and thanks for watching.